Welcome to Authors Allies, the podcast where we dive into the world of authors, books, and the art of storytelling. Join us for in-depth interviews with celebrated authors, insightful book reviews, and practical tips on marketing your literary masterpiece. After 20 years publishing magazines, I, your host, Rebecca Paciorek, am so thrilled to be able to work within my dream of promoting authors and their books. Whether you're a seasoned writer or just starting your journey, we've got something for you. So grab your favorite beverage, settle in, and let's explore the fascinating world of books together. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. Today, I am so excited to introduce a very special guest, someone who has not only written a powerful roadmap to financial freedom, but has also been my own motivational coach and cheerleader. Get ready to be inspired by the one and only Nellie Corriveau, the founder and CEO of the Wealthy Mama Movement and the author of Your Journey to Six Figures. Nellie has the coolest mission. She wants to help 1 million mamas build an online business they love, and she's here to share her wisdom and her strategies with us, from scaling her own business to six figures in just under a year, I believe it was, to helping countless women unlock their potential. Nellie's story is one you do not want to miss. So let's dive in and learn how you, too, can create a business that funds your dreams. Welcome, Nellie. I am just so excited to have you on the podcast. Oh my gosh. I got to tell you, my business has been so much more fun since I met you. Like, seriously, if I didn't have my little screen up right now, people would see the unicorns and things like that in the background. I don't have all those stars, but I mean,
Yes.
unicorns. I have my coffee sweatshirt on here from the Wealthy Mama Boutique. I mean, you really do know how to not only make a business more fun, but more funds as well. Like, people go to a coach, typically they want to be able to make more money. But for me, I'm just happier to have more fun. So thank you for that. I
And
appreciate
they
it.
both absolutely, and they connect. The more fun you have, the more money you will make, hands down. I believe it to my core, and I've seen it time and time again. And you actually enjoy the journey, which is the
Yeah,
whole point of all of this. Like, why work for yourself if you're not your favorite boss? Like, you get to love what you do
absolutely.
and make a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a yes and, right?
It
You told me
is.
that. Yes and. Well,
Yes.
you have been a coach and a mentor to me since I think it was like 2022. Like, I was following you before that, but I don't think I gave you any money. Like, I think I was just a little quiet stalker for a while there. Um, but I have just seen firsthand your passion for what you're doing. But for your listeners, what sparked your mission to help these women? Like, I mean, 1 million moms, that's a lot. What sparked all of this?
Honestly, my own journey in motherhood, back in the day, I used to babysit kids. I've worked with pediatric cancer kiddos, like children I love. It is a whole different ball game when you become a mother, and I call it puppy dog syndrome. Like, you're so
Oh,
excited to
yeah.
become a mom, and you're thinking of all the cute clothes and the family photos and the vacations and all the fun. And
Hmm.
then you get smacked in the face with sleepless nights and meltdowns and, you know, children having their own challenges, and
Yeah.
there's a dark side to motherhood, a lonely side, a challenging side. Your body looks and feels different, and there's
Hmm.
just so many silent struggles of moms. And so it really, like, this whole journey was birthed by my own journey, and I just felt like I wanted to bring something to the online space that I saw lacking, and I just started
Absolutely.
talking about it, and people really gravitated towards it. And it's been really enjoyable to see the progression of things happening, and just people being like, thank you. Like, thank you for being
Right.
honest.
Well, and it's funny to me too, because like, I'm old enough to be your mom. And when I first joined your group, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be the oldest person here. I felt so awkward at first.
Yeah.
And it was fun. Well, for many reasons, it was fun. But what was interesting to me was how, just because I was a mom my son is 21 now, right? I was in a
Mhm.
different phase, but you were just getting started with your family, right? And I think you had just had your daughter not too long before that, right? She was just a few years old. But it was really fun because I did not feel like that, because some of the younger moms would ask me questions and then I would ask them questions about tech. So, it like all balances out, and just the
Yep.
way that everyone supports each other is, just amazing to me. And, you said you had been babysitting and stuff, and I know you had a nonprofit for the
Mhm.
kids. Between the nonprofit and motherhood in general, how have those two experiences like changed your perspective and helped you to realize what all these women are really capable of? I mean, obviously, both of those things would have had, like you said, a huge influence on you and what you do.
Absolutely. I feel like for me, the being in the cancer space for over
Mhm.
a decade,
Mm,
it really grounds you. It really puts life into perspective of like life is now. Like there
right.
it is so precious. It is so pure. It's so important to go after your goals and your dreams because we literally don't know what tomorrow brings. And so I feel like I've just always had that grounding perspective and looked at life differently. And then, I wasn't even I can't imagine being a mom and
Right.
being in the cancer world now. I think I
Oh
would
my
just
God.
be a blubbering mess every single
Yes.
day.
I could not do it. There's no
I
way.
just,
I can't
it would
even
be a
work with
lot.
dogs anymore. So,
Yeah, it would be a lot. And
yeah.
so it's just, and I've been with women that I've had moms that have had stillbirths and miscarriages, and it's emotionally a lot. And also it's like, wow, I get to be a safe space for them, and they get to have love and support around them. And to your point, like it truly is a melting pot of moms at all different phases of not only motherhood but also their businesses. Like
True.
there's and I love that. I feel like it
Mhm.
it there shouldn't be a divide with women, like, oh, you're making less than me, or oh, your kids are older or younger. Like what if we lived in a world where it's just like, oh, I see you and you're awesome, let's be friends
Yeah.
and let's hang out. And I feel like that's really what we're building, is that loving, accepting space where
Mhm.
it's like all are welcome. And I just feel like that is so powerful for people to experience. And if you've never experienced that, that also can be a lot to take in. And I've noticed that too with women. They're like, oh, like you guys are really
100%.
that nice.
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, the first event I came to, you know how when you go to a networking event and you're like in the back of the room, it feels like that first day in high school and you're like, who do I sit with? Right?
Yes.
And I was just like, I don't know who to talk to. I don't know anybody. The only person I knew was Linda, and she wasn't even there yet. And I'm like, I don't know anyone. And I just walked around and I started just talking to everyone, and the ladies that were working for you, that just made me feel so welcome. And they were talking to me. And then afterwards, like I had spent the night, and then the next morning we were going to do stuff. But I just was like, okay, I'm just taking a shot. And I walked up to someone and started talking, and then they said, oh well, let's go to lunch and stuff like that. And they were like, everyone was so nice. I was so glad, because I just thought, oh, it's going to be like high school all over again. And it really wasn't. And so many of the ladies now, like you said, I mean, we've had ladies who've had stillbirths, we've had miscarriages, people are losing family members. Like it is a lot. And the fact that women are so amazing, and we
Mhm.
are just totally capable of so much. Like your first book, it's so funny because I got this, I can't, your journey to six figures. This is the first book. If you're watching, you can see the cover. If not, we'll have links to things in the notes for people. But I think maybe you wrote this like right before I started doing coaching with you. And it was overwhelming. It was overwhelming to like, and I had been in business like 10 years at that time, maybe even longer than that now. So this book was written for women that were stressed out, right? Like we were stressed out. How, like, what do you think are those biggest misconceptions about us? Because to me, we can still be stressed out and build a business. But I
Mhm.
know that you have probably seen a lot more than I have, since that's like your niche. What kinds of misconceptions and untruths do you think people have about mamas building businesses?
That they can't do it. That I
Hmm.
feel like that would be the biggest misconception of like, well, I've got babies, there's no way I can add to my calendar, or
Hmm.
I don't have the energy. And those things are like, they are real. And also there's always a way.
Yeah.
And I think that that is just so important to like open up your mind to like, well, what if I
Right.
could do this?
Yeah.
Because I do hear a lot from women, well, I'll wait until my kids are older.
Mm.
And time, like, again, time is going to pass. So why not just at least slowly start building something? You don't have to go at anyone else's pace but your own. So
I
that would
love
definitely be a misconception. I do believe a lot of women are afraid of putting themselves out online.
that.
It
Hmm.
is a very wild place, and it can be
Yeah.
very scary, very uncomfortable, and also so beneficial. Like everyone in my life, I would not know if I didn't post that first video
Wow.
over a decade ago, right? Like if I never went to the conference, if I never wrote the book, like one of my mastermind members read my book and then joined the
Hmm.
mastermind. So it's like
Oh,
all
yeah.
of these things are little breadcrumbs that if we don't make the decision, it's truly the butterfly effect. If we every decision we do or don't make is creating our reality. And so for me, I want to live with no regrets. I want to say
Mm.
I at least tried,
I
right?
love
I
that.
went I
Yeah.
went after my dreams. I recently heard the quote saying, "There's no such thing as failure, just delayed results." And that has really been sticking with me because I feel like as women, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves of like, when I started my online business, the goal wasn't to make a ridiculous amount of
Right.
money. I just wanted my time freedom. I wanted to
Okay.
be able to make whatever I wanted to make. So there was no
Yeah.
ceiling on my money. I was used to, fighting and begging for a salary. And I just wanted to be able to be like,
Uh,
you know what? Yeah, like this is what I want to make. And so it just honestly started from like, I want there to be no limits.
I love that.
And also I wasn't putting this like giant pressure on like, it must be like $1 million business. It was just truly time freedom and creativity freedom
Mhm.
and being able to be myself, and that sparked everything.
Well, yeah. And it's so obvious. And, you know, one of the funny things to me is that I always, when I'm thinking about these things and thinking about the Wealthy Mama group or any of the ladies within the group and the things that we've done, I always come back to when you say, what would Wealthy Me do? Like, I think I may even have a bracelet. Did you do bracelets once upon a
Yeah.
time?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
they're right here next to my desk here. What would
Yep.
Wealthy Me do? Right. And so when you said you just take those baby steps and you do it like at your pace, right? That's really important, because I was just kind of going along doing my thing, right? Like, I was unemployed. I had no job. I kind of had to create my own job because we needed money. And I just kind of went along and really just stumbled into owning a business, right? Whereas the difference, and I love this, is that you have created this community of women who want to have a business, but a lot of them don't know what they want that to look like yet either.
Hmm.
And so it's fun to watch all of them grow, and just kind of doing their things. But like, you were able to relatively easily, and I would imagine you were a little surprised by that, to be able to scale your business pretty quickly to $100,000. Were there any specific strategies that you think made that possible, or was it truly just a conglomerate of what would Wealthy Me do?
So the first time in a year that I hit 100,000, I remember I believe it was New Year's Eve, sitting down and adding up my
Oh,
total.
wow.
And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I did it." Like,
Shock,
and
right?
yeah, so the first time I did it, it was very hodgepodgey. It was
Okay.
throw the the spaghetti at the wall. And a lot of people, especially coaches, say don't do that.
Okay.
And I believe that there is a time and a place of throwing not everyone, everything at the wall, because you're experimenting, you're testing. Right. There is a testing phase. And so should we forever do that? No. But until you try something, do you really know how it feels? You may not want to do a membership. You may not want to build a course. You may not want to have one-on-one clients, but we don't know until we really do it. And so I do believe, even though it was throw everything at the wall, it was, I'm willing to try.
Right.
That's the strategy. So like, that's the big gap I see for so many people. They stay in idea land and they're like, well, I'm going to build everything out and then I'll do it. And so I think what makes me quickly successful is I'm willing just to go. I'm willing to go and try. And if I fall flat on my face, oh well. If I figure out, if it's a little messy, I'm okay with all of that. And I think that is truly the key to quick success, is you're willing to try and you're willing to be messy and you're willing to learn and grow as you're going. That is huge.
And I think that's really hard to learn, because let's see, I started in your world officially in 2022, and I did not open my membership until last year.
Yes.
And I think late 2022, you told me I needed to start a podcast, and it took until 2025 to make that happen. I don't know if that's an old school thing or not, but I am that person. I wanted all the pieces first. I wanted all the pieces.
It's normal.
And eventually though, but you taught me that, like, you're so right. You need to try these things. There were some spaghetti pieces I threw at the wall. I'm going to give myself a little credit. I tried some different things, here and there. I was open to learning all the things, right? And testing things. I do love that. And that's a really good point. So many people don't, they just wait for everything, right? And even like, I know that I did officially start my business originally just for my LinkedIn page. Like, that was my website. No, that is my website. LinkedIn, that's my website. And then I was one of the first people on Facebook. And so that was my second website. I mean, like, I had LinkedIn and Facebook. What did I need another website for, right? And so I know that when I have coached people in becoming a VA, but I've told them the same thing, which is, like you said, just do it. I think there's a book called Do It Scared that I read years ago. And it's like, yeah, what's the worst that could happen? Truly. I mean, there's nothing that bad that you really can't surmount, right? And so it's just amazing to me. But when you have all these women that are like stressed out, how does that not stress you out? Like, we're all freaking out some days. And I know there's times when I'll go in the group and I'll see, like, this thing has happened to this person and this thing has happened to this person. How do you turn that off when you're needing to? Do you have, like, I mean, you had to have learned to do that with working for the nonprofit too, somewhere along the way.
It's definitely hard on some days, because, you don't do this if you don't love people. And it's hard to turn off people, right? Like, when you care about them and you love them. And also, I'm no good if I am crumbling and falling. Yeah. So I have really found that it's okay to turn it off, because if not, then I can't be my best self. Yeah. So just more and more structure and boundaries and self-care and communication has made a world of a difference, because in order to reach 1 million moms, I have to be mentally as strong as possible. I have to have the systems in place. I have to have the support in place, and know that I can always adjust as I need to. But like, truly, I mean, we were talking about this before we started recording, like sleep. Everything yields sleep. If I can have a good night of sleep consistently, I can do anything. Like,
seriously,
it really makes a difference. It really does.
Yeah, like, you could take on the world. You get a good, 6 to 8 hours, you might be good to go, right?
Yes,
Oh my God.
uninterrupted too. Like
Yeah.
I can go on lower amounts of sleep as long as it wasn't like choppy.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
like, water and steps, like I've found things to work for me, especially in this last year.
Yeah.
And I really do believe that was the prerequisite to the
Mm.
growth that we're continuing to
Okay.
experience is I really believe your business cannot outgrow you. You have to grow, you
Yeah.
have to stabilize, you have to feel your best and keep feeling your best, and then your business will just follow that. And it makes perfect sense. I can look back to past different chapters and be like, oh, that's why I, hit a
Mhm.
plateau. It's because I hit a plateau. And so it does coincide with your personal journey just as much as your professional one.
And it's interesting to me because that is so opposite of what the world teaches. Like,
Yes.
truly,
Mhm.
like a term I picked up from you, which I know you got it from the internet too somewhere, was the whole bro marketing thing, right? So,
Right.
like, I came from a really high pressure sales environment in my
Yeah.
early career days. And like that, literally between that and my mom dying, like I was broken by the time I got to you, like
Yeah.
physically, mentally, just I felt broken. And the learning to take care of myself, I thought this lady is crazy because the first thing I did was the scavenger hunt and you would give us homework, right? Every day. And
Yeah.
I'd be like, what does this have to do with making money? I don't understand. And my husband would laugh at me. He's like, you have to do what now? I'm like, well, I have to get my nails done. I have to get an outfit. Or, I mean, I always told him what, I spun it the way that was best for whatever was going on that day. But like, I thought, okay, these are weird, right? And I get it now. Like,
Mhm.
it took a little while to get that, and having gone through a couple of seasons with you now, basically with some of your programs, I can sort of look and see your system, right? Your format, and I get it. And I'm so much happier for that. Like, I
Mhm.
enjoy my business. It's not just I need to make money to eat, which I do. And last year I made the least amount of money I've made in a long time. And that has nothing to
Mhm.
do with you. It has everything to do with me. And that's what I wanted to do. And that's
Mhm.
why it happened that way. Like, I wanted to change things up. I wanted to create something better, something
Mhm.
more comfortable, and I did, but it took a lot. And that realizing that you need to come first, no one teaches you that. People don't teach you that. Like, it's not a thing. It's just not
It's
a thing.
not.
And
No.
it needs to be. It needs
It
to be.
does. It does
And
for sure.
if we can really hit 1 million moms, which I know you will. By now you've probably already hit thousands and thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of them. What do you see as like happening with that future wealthy mama movement? Like, what do you have planned like next? How are we going to get 1 million moms?
Yeah, it's truly a trust journey. Like it's put it out into the universe and not have a plan, which again,
Okay.
I feel like people really struggle with.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just, I know the more I speak it and the more I take aligned action, like I really do believe the more wealthy actions you take, the closer you will get to that. And so
Hmm.
it could happen in the most obscure way. And so it's just
Hmm.
staying open. It's taking aligned actions. I I would say if you ask anyone in our network, they know that that's my desire.
Right.
But it's because I'm talking about it, speaking about it, being about it. It's really the be, do, have mentality that I think is so important. So I don't have one specific, like, it has to be this way. It could
Gotcha.
literally be, we're on the Drew Barrymore show and it reaches 1 million moms,
Yeah.
right? It could be speaking at a summit. It could be one video that goes viral and reaches
Yeah.
millions of moms. Like, or it could be a combination of it, or this next book just
Sure.
completely takes off and is, a New York Times bestseller and everyone is knowing about it and loving it. Like, it could be through our podcast. Like, I think it's really staying open
Yeah.
to all the possibilities. And that's truly where I'm at right now, of just like, I know every day we're waking up and we're building this next era that truly is going to be a vessel
Right.
for that to be able to happen. And it's exciting. Like I can see it
Yeah.
happening. I can feel it happening. And I'm also regulating myself around that
Very
because,
good.
again, I think you could have a video go viral and not be prepared for it, or you could
Mhm.
have, you know, thousands of people come into your DMs and like, do you have the systems in place? Do
Right.
you have the processes in place? Like I call it the Oprah effect. Like, are you ready for that level
Yeah.
of expansion? And if not, get ready for it. Like
Right.
it's building Noah's Ark, right? Like before the rain happens.
Oh, yeah, and I think I've heard the same before, you know the what, you just don't know the how yet. And
Yep.
so, you just like you said, we're gonna be open to the how, and we're gonna see what happens and just kind of roll with it. And, you know, the ultimate impact on these women's lives, what do you envision that to be? Like, are you envisioning a bunch of women who have big money, women who get to have a life that they just love, or is there some specific thing that you really have in mind, or is it just the goal? Let's just get them all together.
Truly, it's freedom on every level. So it's
Freedom,
financial
love it.
freedom, it's emotional freedom,
Okay.
it's time freedom, because that's going to look different for each person. But knowing they're like, I feel so free, so happy.
Okay.
Like someone just came into my DMs this morning and she's like, I just feel so happy. I'm like, that's what it's
Oh,
all about.
I
Like,
love that.
like you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't feel
Right.
good, it
Hmm.
doesn't matter. Like money is important and it's not everything. And so it's really just, I feel like wealth has gotten like a bad rap. Like people push
Absolutely.
it away. They're like, "Ooh, I don't want to be one of those snobby people." And it's like,
Hmm.
just on the our call the other day, one of our masterminders said her big goal is her 3 children not graduating with student loans from college.
That's
That
huge.
to me is wealth. Like,
Yes,
I wanna do
absolutely.
everything I wanna do everything in my power to help her make that happen.
Hmm.
That is so exhilarating to me to know that, like, I was a part of that in some way, shape, or form, like, just helping lift her up
Yeah.
to make that happen. Because the ripple effect that that does for those 3
Right.
children, oh my, I can't imagine. I remember sitting there adding up all my student loan debt, like, to not have that feeling, there's not like, to me,
So
that's wealth.
gratifying.
Like, it
Absolutely.
is. It
Absolutely. Like, to be able to do it your way and to
Yes.
do that is just so huge. You mentioned your new book, but I want to show everyone your other books first. So you started with your journey to six figures, and
Yes.
then you did the Make More Money with Ease, Flow, and Fun, which I know is your big Ease, Flow, and Fun thing. So this one is more of like a planner, whereas the first one was half workbook, half story, I would say, kind of a
Mhm.
thing. But there's another book coming out, and I know you've got a Facebook group around that, and that is going to be so much fun. I
It already is. It's
Oh
so
my gosh.
good.
It cracks me up. So tell everyone who's listening about your new book and how you came about that, because I just think it's going to be so fun.
I'm very much excited about this because it's more personal development
Mhm.
than like how to build a business, but is
Yeah.
absolutely going to help you build a business because it takes a lot of energy to build a business. And so my hope for that this book, um I haven't fully landed on the final title, but the
Okay.
essence of it is zero fucks.
Love it.
And how to do that and be like your unapologetic best self and still care about other people. But the gap that I see for people is they are people pleasing
Mhm.
and they are not prioritizing their dreams, their voice. And so this book is going to be filled with support and strategies to help them be authentically, unapologetically their whole self and nothing but themselves, and do that in just a fun, playful way, both online and offline.
Yeah.
And it's just been really interesting to see how people are like, I need that. Like,
Yeah.
it's been so easy. Like,
Yeah.
it's somewhat surprised me how easy it has been for people to like click that they see that, they want it, and they're wanting to be a part of it. So instead of writing a book alone, I'm writing it with a group of people, which feels so fun to me because the writing process can be so daunting and lonely.
Mm-hmm.
And so every Friday we just kicked off, I'm going in there and just dropping more downloads of the book process and helping hold me accountable. And it's coming together one Friday at a time, and I love that.
I love it. I love it. And it's so fun too, because it gives the readers the opportunity to get that behind the scenes, like along the
Yes.
way. That's just really unique. I'm really like, I haven't seen any authors do it that way before. I know I'm in Patreon, and there are some authors who will like physically write their book, chapter at a time, whatever, and people get to read it. But like the video aspect of it, I should have like not be surprised by this at all, because that's just Nellie, right? Like that's how you are. You do
Yeah.
these surprising things that nobody thinks of. You're so creative. But it's just going to be fun to be able to be in there and see how you're doing it along the way. And I've seen some of your props. Very fun
Yes.
props. I mean, when you have a theme like that, you can't help but have fun with the props
Yes.
and the emojis and all the things that can go along with that, right? So that's
Yeah.
really going to be exciting. And you mentioned that you're even going to, share some of the strategies. And I think that's what a lot of people are lacking, right? Like
Yep.
I can watch YouTube all day long to get ideas, but there are very few people that I would say, if I buy their book or I watch their videos or even do some of their coaching stuff, that I know, okay, but what exactly do I do? Like, I want you to tell me exactly, what to do, right? And
Yep.
so for me, not only from the you writing the book aspect online, I find that genius, but I like that piece of it for like the current class that you are doing this year is your wealthy year, whereas we're truly just building piece by piece and step by step, and it's so much less scary
Mm-hmm.
to do these things. And as my coach, you've really helped me to overcome various limiting beliefs around my online confidence, right? Like I used to publish magazines. We weren't no, to me, video was the news, right? Or you saw a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So this whole thing about getting online and, honing in on your offers and doing these things, like this has taken some work, for me to do. And like I said, I mean, it took me a couple years to jump into doing a podcast, jump into, finally opening my membership, doing it scared, right? What do you think is the key to helping women like me overcome these limiting beliefs? Because, oh my goodness, we have so many. There are so many. What do you think is the key to overstepping these and just breaking into our success era?
It's an ongoing process. I mean, every new level is going to reveal other limiting beliefs, no matter where you're
Yeah,
at on your journey. And so the better you can get at playing with them
yeah.
and befriending them and not being
Mm,
afraid of them is huge, because so often they have so much power over
right.
us. I mean, I remember doing my first Facebook Live and my armpits were so sweaty and my heart was beating so fast. And it's because like things like video scare us because we don't want to look stupid. That's
Absolutely.
the underlying limiting
Hmm.
belief for women is not, they don't want to be judged, they don't want to look stupid,
Right.
they don't want to fail, right? Like, because they feel like everyone's watching them, and the minute that they have a hiccup or somebody's mean to them or they don't make a sale, then they're, quote unquote haters, or, people that don't believe in them are going to be like, see, I told you. And
Hmm.
that terrifies them. But the my goal with this book is that you become so unapologetically yourself that you're okay with all of that
Yeah.
happening. Like,
Yeah.
to the point where if it doesn't scare you anymore, you are truly unstoppable. And so when it comes to helping people with that, I think it's first just acknowledging, like, what's the worst that can happen? like, just let's role play here before we go press live or
Hmm.
we go put out an offer or whatever the fear is. Like, let's just role play here. Let's think of all the scenarios. And when you can realize, okay, the worst thing isn't that scary, you're more likely to do it. And I do believe in
Yeah.
like a tiptoe approach. Like, maybe you go live first in a group,
Hmm.
or you record a video first, or
Yeah, that's what
we
I did.
yeah, or we promote someone else's offer before
Or,
you
yeah.
make an offer. Like, so I do believe in like a comfort zone strategy here where we just like
Mm.
slowly, tiptoe our way there.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. It's actually really smart and strategic than trying to just be like rip the band-aid off and go cold turkey or go full in. Like, typically some of us can do that, but it's going to rattle our whole nervous
Right.
system. And then we're going to be like, what just
And
happened?
especially if it
So,
doesn't go well that time, then you'll never try it again.
right.
Like we don't want to be that scared,
Yes.
but yes, but you mentioned the comfort zone, and
Yes.
you did something somewhat outside of yours, although I know you would not say that. You stretched your comfort zone quite a bit because you actually contacted the author of that book, and somehow you got her to come talk to our group, the Kristen Butler, in our group, chit-chatting about the comfort zone. So that is huge. Like, to be able to get yourself to do something like that, to contact someone that you obviously looked up to so much as a mentor, that is amazing.
I know,
Like,
we're like friends now. Like, we message all the
right?
time. Like,
Your
I think
buds.
we put people on pedestals because of their big followings or their
Hmm.
big success. At the end of the day, everyone's still human. Like,
Right.
everyone still wants to belong. Everyone still wants to be valued. Like, there's nothing better to a creator of any sort of saying like, your work helped me.
Right.
Like, we get to do that more as consumers
Absolutely.
with creators, whether it's a free piece of content or a book or a podcast. Like,
Yeah.
it means the world, and it takes 5 seconds to do,
Right.
and it means everything. And so I feel like, since my intentions were so pure,
Right.
it wasn't like, oh, you have lots of followers, I want to like mooch off of you. It was like, your book helped me so much. Can I just like, one, thank you, and also like pay you to come
Right.
into my group? And so,
That was
um,
amazing.
yeah, it was truly a core memory moment, and also a reminder of like, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Like,
Absolutely.
what's the worst that
Absolutely.
could happen?
Well, and it was really neat too because I understand the book so much better now.
Hmm.
Again, going back to, like, I was old school, hardcore marketing, sales, just that whole thing was so tough. And I was always taught, you're never going to get anywhere unless you get out of your comfort zone, right? And I had still a little bit of a tough time getting through the concept of not getting outside that comfort zone, right? Because, like you, I thought, oh, when I first picked up that book, it was before you had talked about it, and I thought it was going to be how to get outside of my comfort zone. And I started reading it, and I thought, well, this makes no sense. I don't get it, right? Like, it took me a
Yeah.
couple times to get it, and then getting to
Yeah.
talk to her, I understand it so much better now. And
Mhm.
it was just so neat to be able to do that, right? um Someone like that you've been following for a while, and actually getting to have some conversations with now, have you learned some things from your journey with that book that you think will help you with your next book? Because I know your first two books were great. I mean, but it was such a
Mhm.
learning process still. Do you feel like, since you've kind of been there a little bit more now, do you have a little bit of a stronger feel, you think, for where you want to go with your
I
author work here that you're about to do,
I
or in the
do.
process?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One, this felt like such an aligned full body yes, where
Yeah.
I feel like that book, it felt heavy, it felt pushed, it felt um it just felt like I wanted to do it, but it
Yeah.
just felt so daunting and so overwhelming, which some of that is because I never had done it, but
Right. Sure.
the energy of this one, like this was not on my goal list for this
Right.
year.
I mean, all of a sudden it just popped up, right?
Yeah, and I believe you just got to take that inspired action of like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm also not going to put pressure on myself. I don't know
Right.
when this is going to officially launch. We'll keep creating it in the Facebook group, but I'm not going to put the pressure on me
I love it.
of like it needs to be by the end of the year. It could happen fast, it could happen
Mhm.
slow, but I love that I'm doing it with a group of people. I love that they can give me feedback
Mhm.
of this doesn't make sense to me, or can you expand on this, or I
Right.
love this part. That I think is just going to make it so strong and so good. Like I really do want this to be something that lives and truly reaches millions of people because of how applicable it is. Like
Right.
I was telling somebody, like, I'm obsessed with the let them theory
Mhm.
with
Me
Mel
too.
Robbins. It takes a lot of zero fucks
Oh my gosh.
to be in the let them theory. And so I feel like this is like the best friend to that
There
because
you go.
you have to be so unapologetically
Yeah.
you to let them and let
Mhm.
me, like there's like a, this is like the prerequisite to that because
Okay.
you have to be so determined and have that force field around you. And so maybe
Right.
maybe one day I'll interview Mel Robbins, who knows, but I
I'm
love her.
hoping. I mean, that would be
That's
fun,
on the
right?
list. That's on
Okay.
the list.
Okay. If you
So
get her, can I join in? Let
totally.
me join in
Yeah,
too. No,
let
that would
me.
be so
Yeah.
fun, right? I
So
know
yeah,
it. That's
yeah.
amazing. That's really cool. And yeah, like just like you said, the journey of learning along the way as you've done it too. You know, you learned from your first book. You learned some more when you did your second book. You learned from talking to other authors and the women in your group, and now you just, just going to do it again. And so when you can get that whole like picture of yourself and the force field around you and learn that, like, if I could learn to give zero fucks or to let them, if I could have learned that 10 years ago,
Right?
oh my gosh, things would have been
Middle school?
so much easier, right? Oh my gosh, yeah, middle school, especially now. Those kids have to deal with so much, but I think that'd be
Mhm.
really cool. Um, are your books are still on Amazon right
They are
now?
not. We've
Oh,
taken them down. Yeah.
what? I saw them.
Yeah. Yep.
They're not there at all.
They
Okay.
they
So can
most
anyone get them
likely are
still
hidden.
or
Yeah.
okay.
Nope. I'm really moving on to a different era and I want
Okay.
people to go on this new journey because that there's so much in the first book
Yeah,
that
it's different.
it's so different. Like I didn't
Okay.
read the comfort zone book. So it just, and that's why I'm excited about this book because I feel like it's something
That's
that
cool.
will stand the test of time.
Ah,
Um,
very good.
where no matter who you are, no matter where you're at in your journey, like we can all give zero fuck. Like we all get to
Yeah.
and need to. And
Benefiting
so
from that mindset, like you
yeah.
said,
And
that's timeless.
it's it takes so much mental toughness to build an
Yeah.
online business. Like you have to have zero fucks. Like you
Mhm.
really do. And so like that my hope is this helps current business owners, future business owners,
I
because it
love
takes
it.
guts to build an online business and keep it growing and
Yeah,
scaling. And, it's still not fully celebrated that women want to make fuck tons of money. And I want that to change. And
absolutely.
so it's going to take lots of women being like, you know what? Yes,
And we
I
deserve
get,
it.
we do. I
We do.
mean, this world wouldn't be here without us.
Right? I mean,
Come
and
on.
I think we're at 51% now of the population. I think we've officially taken over the last I heard. So I don't
Good.
know. I mean, we're kind of up there. Well, okay, if your books are gone, how are people finding you? I mean, your shop is still there, right? Tell us about your shop because,
Yeah.
I'm
So we
enjoying
have
some clothes.
this next era of the
Yeah.
Wealthy Mama movement is really exciting. So if you go to the Wealthy Mama movement, that'll show you all the
Okay.
brands that we are building. So we're very much taking an approach. You're getting firsthand information.
I feel
We're taking the,
special.
I know, we're taking the approach of we're here to build multiple brands as if we're on Shark Tank. And so we have
I
a
love that.
portfolio of brands that we are building and scaling under the Wealthy Mama movement, one being the boutique. And so this is our approach of showing you us doing our own strategies.
That's
Because
good.
I don't feel like
Yeah,
that is the case with most mentors and coaches, if I do say so
I
myself.
agree.
I like to do and
Okay.
show you, not only do I know my ish, but I'm like doing it in
You're
real
walking the
time.
walk. Good.
That
Yeah.
is so important to me because I've been in college where they're teaching me business strategies and they've never had a
Right.
business. And so this is just truly like, I love to build. I'm a builder, I'm a creator. And so this is
Mhm.
my outlet to do that and show you that we have this portfolio of, we're calling it mini brands. So mini
Cool.
brands that we're building. And we're going to keep adding to our portfolio,
Okay.
acquire brands, invest in
Mm,
brands. Like this is the
nice.
$1 million
Okay.
million mom reach. Uh, so it's really cool to
Yeah.
map out and strategize and build this next era of the Wealthy Mama movement of not only are we helping women do what we preach, but we're actually doing it
You're
too.
like side by side with us there, showing us
Mhm.
how to do it and,
Yeah, because it's
all
changing
the good.
daily. Like
Oh my gosh, yes.
if you're not in the game and you're just talking the game, it's different every single day.
Mhm.
So I like to keep my
Yeah.
skills sharp.
Well, that's why having done magazines for a bazillion years, I felt like I knew kind of the concepts of formatting, what it takes to put the things together, put the books together,
Mm.
because I've done other books and stuff too. But the whole online thing and the ebooks and all of that was so new to me that I thought, how could I work with authors if I don't even know how to do it? I mean, I have like 5 or 6 novels in progress just sitting there. I may finish one someday, but I've done a lot of workbooks and journals and other fun things just so that I could learn how to put something on Amazon, right? Like if you
Mhm.
don't get out there and try it, if you don't get out there and do the thing, it's so
Yep.
hard to teach someone else, I think, too, and you don't know what they're feeling. Like, if you're trying to teach us to have an online business, you don't know what we're feeling like if you haven't tried it,
Yep.
and it's
Exactly.
it's just so cool. So the Wealthy Lounge, you got my hopes up pretty high some
Yeah.
time ago about having an actual physical place. Do we think that will
Yes.
happen sometime?
It's in the goal list. It's happening.
Yay!
So I'm really in the, I have these desires and
Yeah,
I want them all today, just like anyone that I work with.
right?
And also there this gets to all be very strategic
Yeah,
and
peaceful
happen
and fun.
in, yeah, divine timing. And
Yeah,
we're building the vessel for all of those things to just naturally, organically happen. So yeah, the lounge is a deep desire of mine. In-person events would be there, will
mhm,
be there, clothing, coffee, a
fun.
drive-through so a busy mom can literally just
Love it.
swing by and grab a coffee and even like pick up her items that maybe she ordered online, like truly
That's
a
cool.
space
Yeah.
for moms to go where kids can come too, like
Oh, yeah,
it's
I love
not
that.
like if I took Boone to Starbucks right now, it wouldn't be, you know, the easiest. So
Right?
really just a space where it's celebrated to be a mom and not
Right.
like, can you keep your kid down? Like
Yeah.
type of thing. And a mom feels beautiful inside and out. Like and I'm sure it'll even take on a bigger vision than I can even dream right
I'm
now.
sure.
So
By the time it opens, it's just gonna be like a whole thing, right?
yeah.
So it'll
Yeah.
be
And
really
the goal,
exciting.
yeah, the goal is that that's our flagship in-person location where things can happen and people can connect. And also I don't have to be there every day. Like that's the
Right?
goal too, is like really building things that aren't
Yeah,
just reliant on me and making sure that that is
I
thought
love
of.
that.
Hmm.
It's the only way to scale too.
It
I mean, with
is. It
any business,
is. It
I
is.
mean, obviously, if you're an author, you need to author the book. I mean, that's its own thing. Although they do have ghostwriters and things now, but
Yeah.
when you run any other kind of business, to scale it, you're going to need other people, and that's really cool. So, you've
Yep.
got the Wealthy Mama Boutique. And then I know if you get on the website, you can get to like all sorts of other places. I've seen
Yeah.
you on different social media platforms before, but I feel like Facebook is where I see you the most. Is that still the best place, you think, if people want to follow you, or is there another way
As
to
of
it?
now, yes, I'm a
Okay.
grandma.
Oh,
I'm the
please. You're a
I'm the
baby.
I'm the Facebook girly. But
Yeah,
I'm
I
I'm
feel you.
open to, I'm on the other platforms. I'm just
Right.
I personally am the most active
Yeah.
there. So yeah,
Okay.
say hi in the DMs, on content, all of those things. But
Okay.
yeah, if you go to the wealthyMamaMovement.com, that'll
Okay.
show you as we're building out this next era.
That's
That's the
great.
best home base to go.
That's the home base. Okay. And what
Yeah.
about the new book, Name to Be Determined, but somehow including the not giving an F about that? Um,
Yes.
where like can they get to that from the Wealthy Mama movement or to get into the
Eventually,
group
yeah.
or
Yeah.
okay,
So
fun.
though, depending on when they're listening to this, they can always reach out and say, "Hey,
Okay.
I would love in the behind the scenes
Yeah.
experience."
I'm
But
so
yeah, to your
excited
point,
to be in there.
I know it's just so different, and it's such a win-win. It's holding me accountable, and they get to like consume little pieces as
Yeah.
we go. So
Well,
yeah,
and it's like, okay, if you don't do something for a few weeks, no big deal. You made it very clear from the beginning that there's no end date,
yeah,
there's no timeline. And I think that's great because, as with most authors that you talk to, the story eventually takes on a life of its own, and you don't know where it's going to go. A lot of authors say their characters talk to them. And in your case, the fucks are going to talk to you, like
yeah,
you just don't know. You have to feel it, and life will actually as always, that's going to really put input into your story, right? And you'll
hmm,
just feel it as you go. So that's really cool. So,
yeah,
my podcast started out online as a Facebook Live, and it was Books and Brew, and hence
yes.
the coffee shirt. I had to change the name because I officially tried to keep that name. And apparently, I did not research it quite enough because there was already a podcast called Books, Brew, and Boobs. So
Oh,
we could not have that name. Yeah. Yeah. So I had to change it to Authors Allies because that's the name of my membership, right? Books, Brew,
yeah.
and Boobs. So that just was not right. But I still have to ask everyone when you're working on your book, I think I know what's in your cup, but you have some intriguing drinks. What would be in your cup if you were on Books and Brew?
Well, I have
I assume yep,
pre-workout.
look at
Yeah,
you, big monster cups.
pre-workout in here, and I have an iced coffee over here. So you can always find me at least with 2 to 3 drinks on hand.
Same.
I like options.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but mostly coffee and water are
Coffee
like
and
my
water.
go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Some
Flavored
version.
water.
Yes,
Yeah.
me too. I have my circle, so I have the little filters in
Yes.
there. I cannot drink just plain water. Now, what if you were reading though, Nellie? Would it still be water? Would it be something a little more interesting?
If I was reading, honestly, probably a coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you drink coffee at night and still sleep?
Yeah. I think being
Oh, you're
an
so lucky.
ongoing tired mom, like, yeah, at least in this season of life, I can
Yeah.
still pass out.
Well, that's true. Like I could do that until my 40s, I would say. I could,
Yeah.
and
I
some
don't
days
try to
won't
do
do
it
it.
though. I like
Right.
caffeine still affects your sleep, so I do try to cut myself
Yeah.
off.
Yeah. Oh,
But
that's so
yeah.
funny. Okay. Well, before we wrap up, is there anything else that you think or want people to know about you and the Wealthy Mama movement, of course?
Truly just go for it.
Yeah.
Whatever you're desiring, like if you were like when I first had dreams with this whole
Hmm.
online business, they were so small but
Yeah.
so big at that moment,
Right.
right? Like I remember my first retreat and being terrified to do it of
Really?
like, will anyone come? And it's just now I've lost track of how many retreats I've hosted. So it's like you will thank yourself for just
Hmm.
doing it. That's the goal, to do it, not
Just
to
do it.
like make $100,000, right? Like, but just the goal and how we celebrate is, oh my gosh, I did it. I did it.
Yeah.
So just go do it. You will
I
build
love it.
so much confidence and belief and meet so many amazing people. And it's such a fun journey to see where all the I did it take you.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for being on the
Yeah.
show. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you
And
for
really,
having me.
absolutely. I'm grateful for you. Like I said, my business has been so much more fun since I started working with you as a coach, and it's just really brought me some amazing friendships. I
Good.
just wouldn't have known any of these people that I get to work with now, right? So that's just what it's about.
That's so good, and you're aligning everything for long-term success, and so it's like,
Mhm.
I think sometimes people get afraid of, like, those lower income dips, but
True.
it's like, wow, you actually took time to make things how you
Mhm.
want it to be,
Yeah,
that then you can scale it with ease, flow, fun, like, they're
and relax in the time.
exactly, because no one gets a gold medal for huge, awesome growth that just burnt you out and you lost all your friends, like,
Yeah, that's true.
you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel that great. It's about the journey just as much as it's about the destination. So it's like sometimes I've had income dips and I don't
Sure.
regret them because I was birthing a baby. I was
Right.
realigning, rebranding. Like it's a part of business and I feel like that's not also celebrated and it gets to be
Right.
celebrated because that means that you're aligning things and not rushing things and
Yeah,
taking you into consideration just as much as your business. So I think it's awesome.
absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. That's all for this episode of Authors Allies. We hope you enjoyed our exploration of the literary world. Be sure to stay tuned for our next episode where we'll have more fascinating interviews, book reviews, and marketing tips. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform. Leave us a review and share us with a friend. To get your free copy of our ebook, 10 Steps to Your Ultimate Book Marketing Plan, be sure to head over to our show notes. Until next time, happy reading and writing.